Hello, boys and girls. Okay, today for math, we're going to be doing a little bit of review from our lesson 2 days ago. So you're going to be subtracting tens. And I want to remind you, so look at the board. I want to remind you that this is called a 10 because it has 10 little squares. So this is a 1 because it has a value of 1. And then this is a 10 because it has 10 ones. So once we have a group of 10, it becomes a 10. We call it a 10. Okay? So right here, when it says 8 tens minus 4 tens, we're talking about how many groups of 10. And over here where it says 80 minus 40, we're talking about how many little cubes. So up here, we're subtracting groups of 10, and down here, we're subtracting how many little cubes. This just makes it easier for us to subtract. If we know that 8 tens equals 80 and 4 tens equals 40, then we can easily find the answer without having to do all this math manually or with our hand. We just know it in our head. Okay? So let's start. First, I'm going to start with 8 tens because that's what the problem is telling me. So if I have 8 tens, that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm just going to count them one more time to make sure that I have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 tens, 8 groups of 10. Now we're subtracting, and we know that when we're subtracting, we're taking away. We're not adding. We're going to take away. So I'm going to take away 4 groups of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how many tens are left? So remember, this whole thing is a 10. How many are left? Well, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 groups of 10 left. So I say I have 4 tens. So now I can read the sentence, and it says 8 tens minus 4 tens equals 4 tens. Some of you are going to notice that that's a double. 4 and 4 makes 8. Now, this is the same thing. We have the same amount, except now we're going to be counting how many little squares we have left. First, we started with 80, so that was what we had in the beginning, 8 tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. That's what we had over here in the beginning. And then we took away 4 tens, which is 40 little squares. So we took away 1, 10, 20, 30, 40. It's the same thing. And now we want to know, we know that this is 4 tens, but if we needed to count how many little squares, how many would that be? I don't have time to count every little square. So I'm going to count by tens and see how much I have left. I have 10, 20, 30, 40 left. So my answer is 40. I know that 80 minus 40 equals 40. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to need you to open your math book. You're going to be on page 483 in your My Math book. 483. It says My Homework, and we're subtracting tens. 483. Now, you're going to be doing yours on your paper. I'm going to be doing mine on the whiteboard just because it's a little bit easier for me. But you go ahead and put your answers on your paper, okay? Actually, no, I want to show you how to do it. So I'm going to do it on the paper too. I want a model for you. So I'll do it on the paper too, except I'm going to have my dry erase pocket. And this is the one that we just did on the whiteboard. So that's the problem. 80 minus 40 equals 40. 8 tens minus 4 tens equals 4 tens. Okay, we're not going to do all of them together, so let's pay close attention. If you already know how to do this, you can go ahead and then you can come back and just check your answers. but I need you to check your answer. So you're going to come back and make sure that you did it correctly, okay? First, we have 4 tens minus 3 tens. So you guys don't have these little cubes. So remember, this is how I represent a 10. That's my bar of 10. I'm imagining that there's 10 little squares in there. And this is my symbol for 1 because that's just one little square. Okay, so when we're trying to talk about tens, I'm just going to do a straight line, and that's going to represent the value of 10, like this one. So I have 4 tens, so I'm going to make 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tens minus 3 tens. So remember, tens are the whole group, so I'm going to take away, because it says minus, I'm going to take away 3. 1, 2, 3. How many are left? How many tens? I have 1 10 left. Good. So I can read this. 4 tens minus 3 tens equals 1 10. Now, I want you to notice that this is the same value as this, but I told you, right? Over here, we're counting how many groups of 10, and over here on this side, we're counting how many ones are in the same amount. So it's 40 minus 30. I already did it. I had 10, 20, 30, 40, and then I subtracted 30. So I took away 30, and that's where I drew my X's. Minus 10, 20, 30. How many are left? Now I don't want to know how many groups of 10, so my answer is not 1. I want to know how many little squares. So if I only have 1 bar left right here, how many little squares is that? That is 10. I have 10 little squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 bar represents 10. Okay? We're going to do a couple more together, and then you are on your own. 7 tens minus 2 tens. So we start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tens minus 2 tens. So we're going to take away minus 1, 2. How many are left? How many tens? And remember, tens is the whole group. So all of this together, how many of these are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tens are left. So that's 7 tens minus 2 tens equals 5 tens. I have 5 groups of 10 left. Now, this is the same thing, but now we want to know how many little squares. So it's like I would want to know how many little squares are in all of these together, except the ones I got rid of. So it was 70 minus 20. So I'm going to start by making 70. So I already did that. I did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. There's 70 little squares all together. And then I took away 20 of them. So I took away 10, 20. Those are gone. How many do I have left? So what really that looks like is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens are left, right? Because we said 5 tens are left. But how many little squares do we have all together that are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many little squares all together are left? So now I count by tens to figure out what was left. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And it would be the same if I just counted these little bars by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 are left. So I know that 70 minus 20 is 50. Okay, we're going to do one more together on this side, and then you're going to be on your own here. Number 3 says 6 tens minus 6 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens. Remember, that's a whole group of 10. That's one of these. Minus 6 tens. So we're going to take away 6 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many are left? None. Nothing. We have 0 tens left. That looks like a 6 a little bit, but that's supposed to be a 0. 0 tens are left. Now, if I do 60 minus 60, that's the same thing. First, I had to start by making 60 little squares. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. But then I took away 60 of them, so I had to take away 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And I'm left with nothing. 0. Okay, so you are responsible for 4 and 5. We're going to turn the page to the back side. We're only going to do number 6 and number 10 together. Okay, so let's look at number 6. It's the same thing, it's just written in vertical form. So we have 8 tens minus 7 tens and 80 minus 70. 8 tens is the same as 80 and 7 tens is the same as 70. So I'm going to show you with the blocks first. So 8 tens is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I went too far, didn't I? 8 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tens. So I have 8 groups of 10. Let's see if that equals 80. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. So you see how 8 groups of 10 makes 80? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 80. And 7 groups of 10 would give us 70. So I have 8 groups of 10. So we can also draw our picture. Let's draw our picture up here. So I have 8 groups of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 groups of 10, and we're going to take away 7 groups of 10. So we take them away. We got to make them disappear. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them are gone. How many are left? How many tens? 1 10 is left. So we know that 8 tens minus 7 tens equals 1 10. Now we have to figure out, okay, how many little squares are left? So we have 1 bar left, and we know that in 1 bar, how many little squares are there? If there's only 1 bar left, how many little squares are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 bar has 10, so we only have 10 left. So we know 8 tens minus 7 tens equals 1 10. 80 minus 70 equals 10. First, we started off with 80. We took away 70, and that left us with 10 little squares or cubes. Okay? You're going to do 7, 8, and 9 on your own. Let's look at the word problem number 10. Number 10 says, there are 50 children at the circus. 20 of those children leave to go home. How many children are still at the circus? So there are 50 children. Let's underline what we know. There's 20 children, 50 children at the circus. 20 of these children leave to go home. Underline what you need to find out. How many children are still at the circus? So are we going to add or are we going to subtract? Find me keywords. What are your clues in this word problem that tell you whether you're going to add or you're going to subtract? And circle them. Take the time. I want you to look at the keywords. What are some keywords there? It says, there are 50 children at the circus. 20 of those children leave to go home. How many children are still at the circus? What words gave you some clues here? I'm going to give you a second to think about it. I want you to think. Okay, so I see the word leave, and that tells me like somebody's going to leave. If they're leaving, we're taking them away, right? They're leaving. They're not going to be added to. They're going to be taken away. And it also says how many children are still at the circus. It's kind of like saying how many of them are left. And remember, we learned that if it says like how many are left, then usually that's subtraction. So that means we're going to subtract here. So 50 children were at the circus. So first we're going to make 50. We're going to make 50 using tens. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 50 children are at the circus. We know we're going to subtract, so we're going to take away 20 of those children. 10, 20. How many children are left? Now I want you to notice it's not asking you how many tens are left. It's asking you how many children. That means we need to count how many little squares there are. So how many children are left? Remember, each one of these has 10. Count them. Count by tens. How many children are left or are still at the circus? 10, 20, 30. 30 children are still at the circus. Okay. Number 11 says there are 70 people at a movie theater. 20 of them are eating popcorn. How many people are not eating popcorn? So we know that there are 70 people at the movie theater. 20 of them are eating popcorn. How many are not eating popcorn? First, you have to think, okay, do I have to add or do I have to subtract? Look at your question. Are there any clues for you here? There are 70 people at a movie theater. 20 of them are eating popcorn. How many people are not eating popcorn? So remember, subtraction is whole plus whole minus part equals part. So if my whole is 70, that's how many people. One of my parts is 20. We want to find that missing part. We want to find out how many people are not, right? If altogether there's 70, that's my whole number, minus my part equals my part. So let's figure this out. 70 minus 20. First, we're going to set it up with our picture. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 people are at the theater. 20 of them are eating popcorn. So we're going to get rid of that part. 10, 20. How many people are not eating popcorn? I want you to answer that for me. Fill in the bubble to your answer. Okay? So remember, you have problems 4 and 5. And then you have problems 7, 8, and 9. And you have to finish problem number 11 on your own. And this is page 483 and 484 in your My Math book. Alrighty.